everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Monica. I make videos about writing, filmmaking, and I upload short films here on this channel. So if that interests you, you should definitely subscribe, hit the bell, and come back every Sunday because there's going to be a new video for you. Today's video was inspired by Tyler Mowry. He is a writer here on YouTube that uploads writing advice. I love his videos and I think they're great. But I came across a video about script writing format and he had this to say.
Let's start by taking a look at the rules of script format. First off, do not try to write a script in anything other than script writing software. If you like writing something that's prose and then transferring it into script format, then do so. But don't try to figure out margins, spacing, centering, and all of that in a Word document. You want to get to the point where you're not thinking about script format and instead just writing your story. You will get used to the format much quicker if you use script software. My preferred script software is Final Draft. I've also heard that Studio Binder script software is a good option if you're trying to find something free, although I personally have never used it. But if you're serious about pursuing screenwriting professionally, it would be good to take a look at a paid software like Final Draft.
I'm sorry, Tyler, but I respectfully disagree. I think that writing your script in Word or Pages and figuring out the formatting for yourself is actually a great way to not only learn, but it feels a little more satisfying that you created a whole script from scratch. Disclaimer, maybe this isn't industry standard, but if you don't have money for Final Draft, which I didn't, and if you don't trust free script writing services, which I don't because I've been screwed over by script writing services in the past, free services that eventually decided they were going to charge a monthly fee, and then my work got locked up behind a paywall and I lost access to it, and other sites shut down completely like Adobe Story and Amazon Story, and I lost my work. There's also Studio Binder, which Tyler talks about in his video, and I went and checked it out, but even though it seems really cool, I don't really trust it. But I did write one page of my script in Studio Binder so that I could see how it compares to the formatting of a Word document, and I'll show you that at the end of this video. So without further ado, I'm gonna take you over to my laptop and I'm gonna show you how I format screenplays in Word and Pages. All right, folks, welcome to my laptop. This is my MacBook Air, but I have Pages and I have Microsoft Word. So to begin formatting in Microsoft Word, the first thing I do is I make sure all my margins are set to normal. So you're just gonna go to Layout, Margins, and make sure that normal is selected. Usually it's the default, but just check it to be sure because you're gonna want 1 inch all the way around the border of all your pages. Very, very important so that it looks professional. The second thing I do is I change the font. It's usually Calibri, so I change the font to Courier New. Courier New regular is the standard for scripts. 12 point, it's usually in 12 point already. The third step is to add page numbers. So we add it as a header. I just go over here. I like to put my page numbers in the top right corner. So I just double click that and then the header comes up automatically. You can choose page number, which is what I do. It's going to be in the right, and I don't want the number to show on the first page because the first page is going to be the title page, and having a number on the title page will look very tacky. So I unclick that and hit OK. So that'll show up later. We don't have to worry about it right now. We can close this. Now let's get back to the script. We're going to make this the title page. So what I like to do, because I want to get it pretty centered or as close to the center as possible, I'll zoom out of the page just so I can see the whole thing. And I'll return until I get to a nice spot that's pretty much center. And then I will write my title, double space, written by, another double space, and then my name. One thing I didn't mention is that you want to make sure that your document is single spaced. You don't want to have a double spaced document. And the way you can do that, if you're on a Mac, just before you even start typing, hit Command 1, and that way it'll ensure that it'll be single spaced. If you're on a PC, it's going to be Control 1. If you do Control 2, then it's going to double space everything. You don't want double spaces for this. The next thing I'll do is I will bold and underline the title. Now that's it for the title, written by, and then my name. On the bottom of the document, depending on what you're going to do with it, if you're submitting it somewhere, or if you want, I don't know, you just want proof that it's yours, you're giving it to somebody, you might want to put your name, maybe address on it. So down at the bottom, I'll just align right. And here you can put name. So if you wrote it under a pseudonym or pen name, then down here you would put your actual name, address, and then maybe phone and email. I mean, all that stuff's optional. You might want to put like the date you wrote it or like what draft it is, but that's the area where you can do all that stuff. Now, as soon as we get to page 2, you'll see that the page number pops up, but it's in a different font. So we're just going to change the font really quick, highlight it, go to Home, select Courier New Regular, 12 point, and then we're done with that. We don't have to worry about the page number anymore. It's just going to automatically pop up whenever we get to a new page. So now I'm going to align left again. This is the first page of the script. So perhaps you want to start with a fade in. You just type fade in. This is how they used to do it on typewriters. It's not rocket science. This is how all the great writers of the past wrote their scripts just like this on a typewriter. So there's no reason why anybody who wants to do it can't do it. So I'm just gonna make up a bullcrap story just so we'll have, an idea of what this is gonna look like. So I'll do a fade in, double space, and then I'm gonna put my slug line. So let's say it's gonna be interior coffee shop day. And then I'm gonna double space again, and then I'm gonna write some description. So a hipster coffee shop, the place people go to write their screenplays and be pretentious. Nice. And then I'll double space again. I'm still writing action, but now I'm gonna describe one of my characters. So let's say Judy Little, 20s, massive attitude, but she doesn't care. Struts through the front doors and lowers her oversized sunglasses. So now we're gonna put in some dialogue. For my dialogue, this is what I do. For the character's name, I tab 5 times. If I need a parenthetical, I tab 4 times. And when I'm finally writing their dialogue, I tab 3 times. So this is what that looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to write Judy. And then I'm going to do a parenthetical just as an example of what it would look like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rudely. And then her dialogue, 3 tabs. Excuse me? Who is Judy talking to? She's talking to the cashier. So we're going to tab 5 times it again, write cashier. And I'm not going to do a parenthetical this time. I'm just going to do the cashier's dialogue. How can I help you? And Judy, so we enter twice. Judy says, I just ordered a latte with soy milk, and I'm pretty sure I was given 2%. Okay, so you see what I did there? You kind of want the dialogue to stay centered in the script. You don't want it to go too far off to the right, because it's gonna look tacky and it's gonna look like you wrote it in Word. And the whole point is to make it look like you didn't write this in Word. So that is why I cut off the dialogue and then I just tabbed and then continued the sentence. So, for example, if you get to a point where you want to cut to another scene, you would double space, align right, and then cut to, double space, align left, and let's say exterior drive-through day, right? And Judy receives a coffee from the barista at the window. If you want to add a little variety to the page, because it all just kind of looks a little one note, what I like to do is I like to go back and bold all my slug lines and my transitions, make them bold so that, it gives you something. It gives the page a little more dimension, it's a little more fun to read, because then you know when a scene is changing because it's bold and it catches your eye. And I think it looks nice. That is how you do it in Word. Pages, honestly, is pretty much the same thing. So here I have my Pages document. And same thing here. I'm going to do insert page number. And I'm also going to go to document. Wait, hold on a second. I almost forgot. Okay, hide on first page. So I go to document section, click hide on first page, because we're not going to have a page number on the title page because that would just look gross. Go back to format, and we're going to change the font once again. Use Courier New. Do not write your, write it in either Courier or Courier New. Do not write your script in Times New Roman or Arial, because it's not gonna look right. It's gonna look weird. Just because we're not using Final Draft doesn't mean we have to be tacky, right? And same thing. again, this is going to be the title page. We center it. I like to zoom out a little bit so I can see the whole entire page. Go down, write my title, double space, written by, double space, name. And then if I want to add any kind of information to the bottom of the page, maybe I want to put my name, my date, what draft it is, my email, whatever the script calls for, right? We're gonna go down. Now we are on our page 2, which is our script page 1. We're gonna change the font of the page like we did in Word. We're gonna change it to Courier, right? 12 point, goody goody. And same thing. It pretty much works the same way. You can start with fade in, or however you want to start your script. That's up to you. Interior, bedroom, night, a ghastly monster emerges from beneath the bed. Susie Jones, 10, lays sleeping, right? And then same thing with dialogue. Character name, you tab 5 times. Parenthetical, you tab 4 times. And for dialogue, you tab 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll have the monster say something. 1, 2, 3, 4. Parenthetical. Or maybe the monster's like mocking, right? Sleep tight, Susie. Because the monster could say sleep tight, Susie, in a lot of different ways. But if you want it specific, you put it in. Susie startles awake. Susie says, "I told you never to come here again. I'm going to scream at the top of my," ooh, I almost went too far, "lungs, and my mommy and daddy are going to rush in here, and you're going to be in a world of trouble." I can't even imagine a world where a 10-year-old would say that to a monster who just startled them out of their sleep. But you get the idea. It works the same way, right? So that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, theys and thems, this is how... Oh, I forgot to bold and underline my title. But this is how you do it. This is how I do it. This is how great writers of the past did it. Just because you don't have final draft doesn't mean that you can't write your screenplay, doesn't mean you can't write your pilot. Get out there and write your stories. All right, so let's recap the steps. Whether you're writing your script in Word or Pages, the first thing you want to do is make sure the margins are 1 inch all the way around. Step 2, change the font to Courier New or Courier in 12-point font. Very, very important. You want it to look industry standard. 3, add the page number. Also change the font to Courier 12-point. And make sure you don't have the page number on the title page. You want your script to start on page 2. For your title page, you're gonna center. Title is gonna be all caps, bold and underlined. double space written by, double space your name, and then on the bottom you can align right and put whatever information you want in the bottom of the first page. For scene transitions and slug lines, you can put those in bold. I like to. You don't have to, but I think it's more appealing on the eye when you're reading and there's some bold text that catches your eye and lets you know that things are changing. For character, parentheticals, and dialogue, tab to the right 5 times for character, 4 times for a parenthetical, and 3 times for a dialogue. And when you're writing your dialogue, pay attention to the alignment on the page. You want it to stay mostly center. Don't veer too far off on the right. Just if it's getting too long, return and then tab over and then continue the dialogue. You want it to be neat and uniform, clean. Make it look pretty and presentable. I've been using this method for about 3.5 years now, and it's pretty much worked for me, especially when I'm making the scripts for my short films. I just write them really quick in a Word document, and they're usually about 3 to 4 pages long. And if you want to see some examples, you can go to my website. I've linked it down in the description. I have the script for my short film Spook, for fight scenes with Cabbage Patch dolls, and I also have my feature-length screenplay Undead Again, which is the 10th draft, written entirely in pages. It can be done. I'm pretty close to purchasing Final Draft. It's a big commitment and it's a lot of money, and I do want to be taken seriously. So yes, I will get Final Draft. But if you're just starting out, there's nothing wrong with writing your script in Word and Pages. As promised, I'm going to show you guys a comparison between Word and Studio Binder. Studio Binder is a free soft writing service that's available online. I was curious and wanted to see how it compared. So this first screenshot is the first page of my new script I'm working on, Boy Crazy. This was formatted in Word. And then here we have Studio Binder. And as you can see, aside from the scene number, it's exactly the same. So there's no reason why you can't write your script in Word or Pages. It's totally doable. And once you get used to the formatting, you can hammer out a script pretty fast. If you want to write, don't let your lack of fancy programs stop you. Even if you don't have any software that you can use to write any kind of documents and you're just writing everything in notebooks, then do that. That's how Quentin Tarantino starts all of his work. He writes it in notebooks. So if you want to write, just write, and don't get bogged down by industry standards and rules. I'm not saying to disregard those things. I am saying to not let that hold you back. With that being said, I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.